back to Big Balls Fantasy Football. We are moving into week 3 of the NFL, and I have your Real Men picks. I have 2 picks for you, and I have 1 don't start, so pay attention to that one for sure. So my first pick is quarterback Russell Wilson. He is a 2.5 balls pick on the scale because he's a guy that he's not normally on fantasy radars all that much, even though he wins a lot of games for Seattle. But I think he's going to have a good week this week. If you have a quarterback like Romo or even Matt Ryan's been a little up and down, some of the quarterbacks that have been up and down, you might want to grab Russell Wilson and throw him in this week. And this is why. He has had 4 passing touchdowns so far on the season and 0 interceptions. I like those numbers through 2 games. And he's always a threat to run. So he hasn't been running a whole lot, but that threat is always there with him. They play the Broncos. This is the rematch of the Super Bowl everyone's been waiting for, but they play the Broncos at home. I feel horrible for the Broncos having to walk into that stadium and deal with the Seahawks. The Broncos are 10th against the run, which might give beast mode a little bit of a problem. Of course, they're going to try to get beast mode going, but they're 30th against the pass. Now we see what Percy Harvin has been doing. He has made a big difference there in Seattle. Russell Wilson loves him, so I think he's going to be getting him and Baldwin the ball quite a bit in this game. And the Broncos have given up the 5th most fantasy points to quarterbacks so far. Alex Smith at least looked decent against them last week. He didn't put up huge numbers, but Russell Wilson is a much better quarterback and much more capable than Alex Smith. So I think, again, them playing at home, they are a completely different team at home than they are on the road, and I think Russell Wilson is going to have an amazing game. This is a much hyped game as well. Moving on, my second pick is my very own Bear, wide receiver Brandon Marshall. I love Brandon Marshall. I've been lucky enough to have him on my team. He was on my team last year. He's on one of my teams this year. He's a 1 on the ball scale because you're never going to sit this guy if he's in the game. Even if he plays gimpy, you're still not going to sit him. If he's on the field, you're going to play this guy. He is coming off a 3-touchdown week. Yes, that's right. Not 1, not 2. 3 touchdowns in 1 week. And he has had a touchdown in both games so far. So that's where a lot of your fantasy points comes from. And Jay Cutler always looks for him when they're in the red zone. They are playing a primetime game on the road. It's going to be a tough matchup. This is not going to be an easy one. So it very well could be a close game, even though it's Geno Smith and the Jets. The Jets have looked okay. Their defense has been keeping them in it for the most part. But this game could be close. Having to go from a road game in San Francisco to another primetime road game is going to be difficult for the Bears. And the Jets are the #1 defense against the run. Now, we saw how San Francisco shut down Matt Forte. I think he had 24 yards in that game, 21 or something like that. They absolutely shut down our run, and the Jets are even better against the run. So it's going to be very hard for us to get Forte going. We are going to hand off the ball to try to keep some balance, but it's going to be a tough matchup for Forte and company. And Alshon's hamstring is still going to be nagging him a little bit. I'm pretty sure he'll play if he doesn't have any setbacks this week. But like we saw, Marshall's injury is an ankle versus Alshon's hamstring. Those are 2 totally different injuries for receivers. And Marshall seems to look like he's handling his injury quite a bit better. So you have to start him. And my don't start for the week is running back Andre Ellington of the Cardinals. They are playing San Francisco, and San Fran is 7th against the run. They've given up the most fantasy points against the run in week 1. So again, they really shut down Forte last week. They gave up most of those fantasy points to DeMarco Murray in week 1. And, you know, he gets a lot of touches, but he is being completely vultured by Jonathan Dwyer. He has no touchdowns. So he's getting you okay yards so far, but he is not getting in the end zone, and that's killing you in fantasy if you're starting him. He's still dealing with that foot injury a little bit, so that thing is still nagging him. And this is the best run defense that they are facing so far this season. So even though he's been okay getting you yards, been getting you maybe 10 to 11 fantasy points, this is the toughest run defense that they're facing so far. I just really don't like the matchup on this one. Not to mention that there's a backup quarterback in as well. Things can always be sketchy there. So those are my real men for this week and my don't start. And now we are going to give it to Greg to give his beast mode picks.